A common theme we see with a lot of patients that come into our office with that mid to lower back pain is that it commonly stems from workplace posture. Think about it. If we're sitting for 6 to 8 hours a day, kind of slouched with our shoulders rounded, leaning back like that, we're going to be putting a lot of stress and compression over that spine over a period of time. In today's video, I'm going to demonstrate ways to promote more mobility in those active ranges of motion in that mid to lower back, as well as moves to help strengthen and promote more stability in that mid to lower back of the spine. Stay tuned. With promoting that motion in your thoracic spine, a lot of people like to go right into that cat-cow or that overflexion, that overextension to start promoting more mobility. And while that's great, I find that first by beginning initially with rotation, that does the best job of opening up those spinal facet joints and those costotransverse joints between the ribs and the spinal vertebrae themselves. And then once we kind of get into that, then we can transition to that flexion extension. So to begin, let's say for this example, I'm feeling most of my discomfort in my right mid-back. To begin mobilizing, I'm going to put my arms in that genie position with that left hand over my right. And in this position, I'm just going to rotate my body to the left or to the opposite unaffected side as far as I can go. Once I feel like I fully have stretched out my lower back with this rotation, I'm going to try to rotate a little bit further in my upper back and in my ribs. And then in this point right here, I feel a good stretch. To progress this a little further, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little lateral flexion, taking a deep breath in, exhaling out, before going back out of that lateral flexion, and then trying to rotate a little bit more. I like to do these genie rotations about 3 to 5 times per side, about 2 to 3 times per day. Continue promoting rotation in that thoracic spine. What I'm going to do is, and continue with the example that my right mid to lower back is what is affected. I'm going to lay with that affected side down, putting my legs in that 90-90 position. So 90 degrees at the hips, 90 degrees at the knees. Taking my bottom arm, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it on top of that top knee, and then I'm going to raise that left arm up. Then from here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rotate back as far as I can, taking deep breaths in, and then exhaling when I come back to neutral. With my shoulders stacked, the goal is I want to be able to touch both sides of my shoulder on the ground. So going down, back up, trying to keep this top arm as straight as possible. Doing this about 5 to 10 times before I go to the other side and promote rotation on that. So on the right side, it'll just look like this. Arm up, and then going. Once we promoted some good rotation in that mid to lower back, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go straight into our flexion extension mobilities. So to begin, I'm going to go into the quadruped position, also known as, this move is known as child's pose. Keeping my my thighs as vertical as possible, I'm just going to bring my arms out in front as far as I can, promoting that stretch. And from here, I'm just going to drop the chest down, raising my butt a little bit, still trying to keep my thighs and my arms as straight as possible. And just holding in this position, this neutral child's pose position for about 20 to 30 seconds at a time. If being in this position, you start to notice your shoulders are hurting a little more, I would just recommend going a little wider grip. I'm just trying to feel that stretch in those thoracic and lumbar paraspinals. And then to progress the stretch, I always like to shift to one side or deviate to one side, holding that for about 20 to 30 seconds at a time. Or going to the other side too. Spinal flexion, I'm going to do the opposite, so more extension. Just going to lay down on my stomach, placing my arms about shoulder width apart. I'm just going to first start by just promoting extension, pressing through my elbows. Just feeling all those vertebrae extend back. And then in this way, a good way to just kind of promote a little more mobility in that mid to lower back, I'm just going to take one leg at a time and just kind of rotate it inward and inward and then inward. Doing this about 5 to 10 times per side. From here, we can promote more spinal extension by going onto our hands, pressing up, and just holding in this full cobra pose, again, for about 20 to 30 seconds at a time before going back down and repeating about 2 to 3 times. We can just kind of play around, go on our hands or elbows or full straight arm with our hands. And then following that 20 to 30 seconds of this cobra, I'm just going to go back into the quadruped position and then bring it all together by promoting flexion and extension with our cat cows. First, we're going to go into that cat position, full flexion, followed by cow, full extension. I like to hold each one of these positions for about 5 seconds and then alternating between the two. Performing about 5 to 10 of these cat cows, 2 to 3 times per day. Okay, to begin strengthening that mid-back, I always like to target the muscles surrounding that mid-back, specifically the rotator cuff, before we go into those paraspinals themselves. Now I know we all know the YMCA. I want you to learn a different one. It's pretty similar, but it's going to be modified a little bit. Instead of the YMCA dance, I want us to get in the habit of the ATYI. It's fun to stay at the ATYI. Taking a resistance band, dumbbells, anything like that. We're going to create some tension. And then from here, I'm going to go first into that A position. A, T, Y, I. Get in that habit, sing that song. A, T, Y, I. That's going to do a wonderful job of beginning to mobilize and start to strengthen all of those trapezius muscles, that lower, middle, and upper trapezius, all with the way we retract, protract, and move that scapula around. To demonstrate with free weights too, just taking it from the side, A, T, Y, I. I like to repeat all of these about 3 to 5 times, about 5 times per letter. Our last move to promote stability, to start strengthening those muscles of the lower back, lower to mid back. What we're going to do is we're going to stand up on a slightly raised platform like I have here, and we're going to perform a modified version of Jefferson curls. So to begin, we're going to take those dumbbells and just let them start to naturally rest to the side. I'm going to tuck my chin fully to my chest and then begin rounding my shoulders. Right here, I'm just going to start to begin promoting all of that flexion by rounding each one of those spinal vertebrae. Moving into that mid-back now, still rounding, still flexing. Now just hinging forward, feeling that full flexion, trying to bring those dumbbells below my feet. Once you start to feel that stretch in the back of your hamstrings, what we're going to do here is we're just going to start to unroll, begin straining that mid to lower back again. And then once you start to strain it, we're going to start to extend, bringing that back. Once I feel that good stretch in those thoracic and lumbar paraspinals, begin to start flexing, start rounding those shoulders again, and going back in. I like to do about 5 over flexions, 5 over extensions. And then from there, I was actually just noticing that right side of my mid to lower back to be in a little more discomfort. So I'm actually going to target that too. I'm going to, again, tuck my chin, round my shoulders forward. Then from here, I'm just going to rotate away from that affected side. Continue to flex forward, rotate back. Before I kind of feel those lumbar paraspinals, that QL lat, lumbar paraspinals, everything just open up right there. And again, got to show love to both sides too. But yeah, just experiment around with that. Never move into too much pain or tension. I always like to listen to my body and then try to gradually build. More tips like this to mobilize, to begin strengthening that mid to lower back. Remember to like and subscribe to our page. Hope you have a great day. Take care.